In this video, I will show you how to log in a session note for attended sessions, whether it's through telehealth or in-person services. Once you log into ProviderSoft, this is the screen that you will be seeing. And we're going to go, even though you have information here, what we're going to focus on this video is how to log in those sessions electronically. So you're going to click on Session Login, and then we're going to go to Post Single Session. Although there's different tabs here, for our purposes, we're not using any of these. We're going to always go to Post a Single Session. Then you're going to get a drop-down menu. If you have more than one service, you will have the option to click on the different children that you are servicing. But if you only have one child, the one child would automatically pop up. So we're going to click on the drop-down menu. For this, I have Bugs Bunny. I provide ABA services for this child. So I have more than one authorization for this child. But in regular services, you would choose whichever authorization is assigned for you. If you have related services, you would click on the service that you're providing. For ABA, we're going to do 1 hour at a time. So I'm going to start with ABA hour 1. You also want to pay attention to the authorization dates. As you see here, if I'm posting something for today, the authorization has to be within that date. If you're posting something older, you want to look at the not current list and maybe see if that authorization falls within that date. But for now, we're going to post something for today, and I'm going to go start off with ABA hour 1. Once we click on that, we come to this screen, and you're going to enter all the information here. Under attended status, you want to press attended. You want to go to your procedure. If you have more than one procedure, then you want to click the one that applies to your discipline or the service that you provided for that day. For ABA, we only have one. For SI as well. For related services, as far as OT, PT, and speech, and even social work, you'll have different options on this drop down. So you just want to make sure you choose the correct one. But for now, this is the one that we're going to choose. You also want to pay attention to the units that you're going to do. For this service, we're going to do 4. However, it might not be the same for all the services. Here, you also want to click the right ICD code. For this child, he only has the autistic disorder code. So we're going to click it here. However, if the child has more codes, you will be able to see it here, and you have to click the ones that apply to the service that you're providing. Here, we're going to enter today's date. And I'm going to say that I did the service at 12 p.m. It automatically populates the end time. I'm going to say that I did it at home. And then you're going to see the green plus sign and attached note. These two are separate links. So you want to click the green plus sign to create a session note. Once you do that, all the information that you entered here is going to automatically populate in here. You want to make sure that everything is filled out, and we're just going to fill out all the sessions. So your information, the child's information should be up here. Your information should be fully here. The session date, the date that the note was written should always be the same. The date, the time that I entered previously also populated here. My ICD-10 code and my CPT code ×4. So then I want to go and make sure that each section is filled out. So here, I'm going to go to here. My child was there and the parent was there. I am going to also write what I did for the day and the feedback that I got from the parent. You want to make sure that you answer each question. So today I'm going to write parent informed that since the last session, the child was able to label an apple independently. Today we worked on pointing to desired items, and he was able to point to a crayon with hand over hand prompting. Additional information you can use if you want to add any more information. Here you're going to click for the goals. So today we worked on the main goal, repeating and imitating, and also use gestures to point to desired objects. We don't want to populate this with too many goals because each hour has its own goals that we're going to work on. So populate. Then we're going to go to routine activities worked on during session, activities of daily living, play and social, if you went on a community errand, or if others. If you click other, make sure you fill it in. And then we're going to answer the second question, strategies used within the routine activities. Could have been modeling, cues, prompts, maybe positioning. You can click one or as many as apply. Other, you would have to fill in the other. Question number 4, how did you work with the parent and caregiver? Maybe you observed the parent and caregiver and child during the routine, or maybe I demonstrated activity to parent or caregiver. You can click both, maybe just one, whichever applies. Then on question number 5, you want to answer the question. So you also want to leave something for the family to work on from here to the next visit, which might be tomorrow or sometime next week, depending on what the mandate is. You want to make sure that you leave an activity for the parent to work on so that you can also get feedback the next time you see them. So that's it. All of that is filled out. Then we want to go to the bottom. You want to make sure to remember relationship to child. If it's the mother or the father or whoever it was that it was in the home that was able to sign for the child or was there to take care of the child, you want to make sure you put in the relationship. You then click there and you have them electronically signed. You press submit. It will automatically date stamp the day that they signed. This must match the date that is up here, the date that the session was written, and the date that the note was written, and the date that the session took place. Then you want to go into this next part, the interventioner's signature. You want to make sure if your license or certification number does not pop up, you can put certified or licensed. Then you want to click on the signature tab and you want to sign and you're going to press submit, which also date stamps the note. You want to make sure that you do this note and you have the signatures captured after your session is over, because you're not supposed to do the session note before your session has been completed. Then you want to go back and make sure that everything is filled out, and everything that's in pink should be probably filled out, and you are then able to press submit. Once that happens, it'll bring you back to this screen. You will then press save and new, which will bring you to this page again. But your session has already been logged. If you want to check if your session has been logged, you can click on session login and you will be able to see your session right down here. As you can see, this is Bugs Bunny, the session date, from what time to what time, and it's pending for verification on our end. If this was a telehealth note, you would do everything exactly the same. The only difference would be that you would make this telehealth. How you would do that is when you're first entering it here, you would make this a telehealth session to make sure that it matches with the note inside, and that will populate in here, and then it would turn into telehealth right here. The only difference between a telehealth session and an in-person session is that you do not need the parent's signature. Initially, you would have to get a signature log for the parent to sign, but this actual session note here does not need to be signed in order to be submitted. And this is how you complete an attended session note.